Very nice to meet you virtually.
私の名前はブライスです。
That's great.
Your turn.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Okay. So this film combines undercover police work with improvisational theater in such an unexpected mix. What was your first reaction when you read the script?
Well, that it actually managed to balance those two things incredibly well, because I think that they often can pull in different directions. You know, action, thrilling, set pieces and comedy don't always gel together. And I think, I mean, not to name names, but there are definitely some films which probably don't necessarily kind of hit that mark. Whereas I feel like this one really did do that incredible dance. And that's what made it so exciting, I think.
And it's such a fun premise, you know, a group of improv comedians basically getting recruited to do low-level sting operations. And then because they're improv actors and they're a little extra and they say yes, and they keep getting kind of pulled deeper and deeper and deeper into this criminal underground world.
And it doesn't feel like it's something you've seen before. It's not like cookie cutter, cut out. It's like a unique story with all the elements that I think an audience wants to see and can appreciate.
Yeah, so were there any scenes that involved real improvisation? Or if so, could you share a favorite moment that was born on the spot?
I mean, I loved hearing when, as an overall thing, the writers of this are improvisational comedians and some of the most well-known kind of improv actors, especially here in the UK. And so the script was really tight. Like there was no need to improve upon the script. However, they were there. And so they were constantly just like pitching lines or ideas or things that we would then just riff off. And there was this one incredible day. You know, Nick, you would always sort of like really get into stuff and get into a flow and new things would transpire. And it was always very exciting. Like when your character has the turn. And with the cocaine and just all of it.
It's just such a joy. But like you say, just having them on set, being able to sort of feed us alternative lines or suggest alternative ideas was so great. I remember actually as well when there was such an I've forgotten in the scene where it turns out the grenade is actually a squeaky toy.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a lot of fun. You had a lot of fun, like back and forth as to what that line could be and how you throw the grenade and how
true. That was fun. So these really serious moments that were like suddenly a pin feels like it might drop and then the humor pops and you sort of you break and run. But it was
when you're like, all right, run.
Yeah, and the party scene, there was a lot of improv. Do you remember at the club? There's like a club scene that suddenly we're all like somehow I was doing karaoke and we were dancing.
Actually, that felt quite real because it was probably a night shoot, but also there's a lot of supporting artists and they play the pumping music to sort of get you to feel it. So it felt suddenly quite real and the lighting felt real. And so, yeah.
Thank you so much. So Bryce, I love to hear your thoughts on this. And your character Kat runs an improv school, but struggle with her own confidence. Did your background as a director and performer help you connect with her journey?
Yeah, it was actually mostly I had been teaching for NYU for years, students at NYU, and which I absolutely loved. And when I was thinking about Kat and kind of preparing for Kat, it was interesting because sort of like the idea of teaching felt very, very natural. And then all I had to do was imagine and, all this stuff that you've studied for, all this stuff that that you love doing, you can't actually do it professionally. You're supporting your students with the hope that they'll be able to do it professionally, but that's not going to happen for you. And I think that idea is one that it's an insecurity. It's always a fear where it's like, I'm not going to get hired again or something like that. But it's something that I could definitely imagine what that experience would be like for Kat.
Thank you. So this question is for Oland. So Marlon is portrayed as a method actor. So were there any specific people or experiences you drew on to build the character?
I want to hear this.
So there were plenty of, I think, ideas behind it, but Roach was, I was trying to find my way into who Roach would be, and he was written as this Northerner. And I've grown up with Oasis, the band. Do you know the band Oasis? And so
yes.
I wanted to find a real physicality and attitude that would be a little bit over the top. So I kind of learned a bit of Liam Gallagher from Oasis. I mean, the whole band in a way, but like Liam has this real kind of swagger, and it's like really, it's real for him, and it's really. But like, if you look at it from afar, it's like, what is going on in a great way? But it's like, and so I was like, I kind of took this kind of pop idol who we've grown up, rock idol, pop rock idol of Liam Gallagher, and kind of like tried to lean in on that as a way through to landing Roach being more of like that kind of lad from the north, you know.
I saw
That's
some Jason
interesting.
Statham in there.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And this question is unique. So, how Hugh is socially a bit awkward but oddly charming and tech savvy. So, how did you shape his humor and quirks? Did you find parts on yourself in him?
A little bit. I think that I'm probably a bit more confident than Hugh is, certainly at the start of the film. But yeah, I mean, I being just quite short and a bit geeky, I am quite socially awkward, or at least sort of was when I was growing up and stuff. So I feel like I did have a little bit of, a bit of me was sort of very much part of Hugh. But yeah, I'd say the most fun that I had with it though was the fact that he does go on a bit of a journey, does Hugh, in that he does sort of, he does get to, really test and challenge himself, and he's not from an improv background or an acting background at all. He's sort of stumbled into this, and he very quickly finds himself in too deep. So for him to kind of come through shining and to have eventually found his people, his relationship with Shosh, even though it's quite fleeting, it felt like he does go on a bit of a journey, does Hugh, and sort of finds himself by the end of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。